How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? In today's skills report, I'm going to be bringing to y'all a little strategy guide to help you get on your way into Division 2. Now, this strategy guide is intended for new players as well as old players who already been playing the game. I'm going to have some tips for y'all towards the end. Alright, so if you want to skip to this part of the video, I'll put the time down below in the description as well as above in the video. Alright, so let's just go ahead and hop right on into it. Alright, so if you're just starting out in the game, at this point, you're going to be taking back the White House, which will become your first base of operations. After you take back the White House, the base of operations, you're going to need to speak to Odessa upstairs. After you speak to Odessa, this will activate the Quartermaster, and the Quartermaster is where you'll pick your very first skill. Now, this is an important part because depending on what skill you pick, it's going to make the game a lot easier or a lot harder. I highly recommend for beginners and new players, just to make it quicker and easier on yourself, pick the Assault Turret. The Assault Turret is so OP. It's literally, in my opinion, the best skill in the game as far as PvE is concerned. It's really good at stopping enemies from coming down the lane and flanking you on either the left or right, which you'll notice that they seem to run the same tracks. Alright, if you kill an enemy, his assistant, his partner, gonna come in the same track that he did. So keep a good eye on that. You know, once you see it once, pay attention to that side because that's where they're gonna flank you. Alright, now the assault turret is here. You're gonna click this one and it's this first icon. Now this assault turret to carry you pretty much to level 30. You know, now I know because I've tried it two ways. I played on all three consoles so far, and what I did is I alternated. I tried with the assault turret and then I tried with other skills in particular to start the game off, and it was a lot more difficult without that assault turret to cover them flank lanes. So with that being said, if you want more of a challenge, don't pick the assault turret, pick something else. If you want you know, a pretty clean cut way of getting it done, take that assault turret. Alright, now that'll be your first skill. That's what you'll use your first skill point on. And then you'll have another mission to do before you can you know, start to get SHD tech. So let's get into that. Alright, congratulations, you got your very first skill from the Quartermaster, and now you need to find Odessa at the theater. Odessa at the theater gonna give you another mission for the Grand Washington Hotel. Once you complete the Grand Washington Hotel, this will give you access to your very first safe house. Alright, now at this safe house, you can activate the SHD tech that's scattered across the map to increase your perks. Okay, the perk talent trees. Now we're gonna get a little bit more into that. Okay, so now that you got the icons on the map that look like these, you want to go pick up all three of them. And after you pick up the three that's on the map available now, you're going to want to go back to the base of operations so we can get to the Quartermaster and get our new perks. Now what I'm going to try to do is give you the perks in the priority of what's the most important to what's the least important. Now with the little bit of SHD tech you got right now, the first thing you're going to want to do is upgrade XP as much as you can. This way, when you're exploring, you're still moving closer to the next level, which will get you gear that's more valuable to you. Alright, so you want to have that extra experience to get that level up, so make sure you get all these. You won't need anything else. The beginning missions aren't that difficult. Once you complete the first mission, that'll give you extra XHD tech to come back and upgrade other things. After you get the XP upgraded, the next thing you're probably going to want to invest in is inventory space. You know, try to get that maxed out to the 2 slots, even though in the beginning you won't need that. Alright, that's why I'm saying again, XP is the first priority. During that first mission, you won't get enough gear to fill up your inventory, so you don't need to be in a rush for the inventory. If you picked up everything in that first mission, you still won't fill up your inventory. Okay, so you won't need this until after that first mission, which will give you more XHD tech to come back and upgrade the book bag. So once you got the XP in the book bag, the next thing I would recommend is the grenade, because they are highly effective, and I'm gonna show you a trick at the end of the video that makes them almost OP. Alright, so this is another one you're gonna want to upgrade as a priority. So it go XP, backpack, grenade, and then from that point you can pretty much upgrade whatever you want whenever you get the SHD tech to upgrade it. Alright, now I will in particular say med kits, restock armor kits, detection, resources, being the ones you want to upgrade, you know, next when you get the chance, with detection being the last, because you probably won't have a lot of control points ready to go by the time you get it, you know, but you should have enough SHD tech to do them all. So yeah, that wrap up that section, and we're gonna move on to the next. Okay, so now it's time for your next skill unlock, and I would recommend that for the second skill you can pick, you get the drone. The drone is the best for keeping your armor up, and it'll follow you wherever you go. So if you're moving from cover to cover, it'll heal you when you're not in motion. Now this is useful because you will spend a lot of time in cover not moving. Again, remember, if you stay to the right and they flank from the left, if you stay to that right, they're going to always flank from the left. If you stay on the left and they flank on the right, they'll always flank on the right. Once you move is when they start to change it up on you. Alright, so that's something you can keep in mind and use to your advantage. And that's why this drone is perfect, because see, it'll just keep healing you while you in cover, so you'll be able to pop out, take down a lot of enemies. Even in motion, sometimes it can be useful. You can stand still every now and then to get some of that armor back and keep moving. So I highly recommend the drone as the second. This will save you also on med kits. That's another reason why I didn't really, I never remember running out of med kits since I've been playing so far. And one occasion, well actually a few occasions, I did them lower levels down, all the way 5 levels lower than the recommended, and still didn't have to use all of the med kits thanks to the drone. So I highly recommend the drone. It's the second unlock, and then we'll move on to the next part of the video. So now you got your 2 skills, you got some of your perks upgraded, you're ready to get out here onto the map, and you're wondering what you should do next. Well, you can do whatever you want. Explore, have a good time, enjoy the game. What you don't want to do is the SHD missions that I'm showing you here on the map. These SHD missions later in the game will offer you way more XP, which will help you level up way faster towards the end of the game. I would highly advise that you save all of the SHD missions for last. Everything else on the map, anything else, whether you're just running around or whatever you're doing, feel free to do it. But just try to save them SHD missions, because the XP later takes a lot to get to the next level. And them SHD missions provide up to 116,000 XP when you get around 28. Alright, so save those for now. Alright, maybe do 1 or 2 of them. You won't need them all. Maybe do a couple of them just to get extra SHD tech so that you can upgrade more of your perks. Alright, but I wouldn't do more than that. I would try to hang on to those, but it's up to you. So yeah, that pretty much wrap up that segment, and now we're gonna move on to one more part before we get to the final tips. Alright, so let's get to it. Alright, last section for the tips. I just want to touch on inventory management a little bit as far as what items you want to keep. Alright, so pretty much you want to delete everything that's low level, that's lower than your current level, that doesn't leave you with less than 3 items of knee pads, chest pieces, gloves, holster, you know, pretty much your basic necessities. Alright, you're gonna want to hold at least 3 extra at all times. Now this only applies until you take care of these little settlement missions that I'm showing you here. You take these, you give them the gloves, you give them the backpacks, you give them everything they need, and once you finish all the settlements items, then you'll be able to delete all of the lower level stuff. You won't even need to keep the extra 3. Alright, so until you hit end game, pretty much you ain't getting none of the gear you need. I would say about 28 you start getting some stuff you might want to consider. Until then, anything and everything can go. Alright, so that wrap it up for the inventory management, and now we're gonna move on to the tip section. Okay, so now we're on to the first tip, which I want to start off with why the grenades are so useful in the Division 2. Alright, you just got to use them the right way. Now the key to this is not to shoot at the enemies who don't see you yet. If you're undetected, just get in the cover, throw out a grenade, and don't shoot. Long as you don't fire, they will not move. They will remain where they are. And that is a very useful scenario to get a head start on taking out a majority of the enemies. Now I got a demonstration clip so you can check it out and see exactly how that works and what the benefit of it is. You're gonna really like to use this throughout the game, and I think it's pretty funny anyway. So here we go with the clip.
Could attack at any moment. You need to be ready. Eyes front, ears open. No fucking around. Dismiss.
Okay, so another quick tip. If you got the Gold Edition, Ultimate Edition, or pre-order, you got the Lullaby and or the Reckless. Now, if you got those two guns, those two exotics, I highly recommend you leave them here in the grant. Don't take them out. Alright, if you can see, you know, you'll have your grants, and then you'll have the Lullaby upgrade, the Ruthless upgrade, and you see I left my Lullaby in there. Alright, and I was only testing a theory, but they both are pretty poor weapons. Alright, they really are. And it's still nice to have every exotic. You know, I'm a collector and that's what I do. But they'll take up space in your inventory or your stash. And I don't mean temporary space, I mean permanent space. And I'm going to give you an example of what I'm talking about. Currently, I'm stuck with the Reckless in my inventory. I can move it to the stash, but you can't delete them. Alright, so it's better to leave them in the in the little grant box or whatever that is. Leave it there, so you save yourself 2 inventory slots. Alright, you won't need those 2 guns. They pretty much display guns. Hang them on the wall and enjoy the view. But don't put them in your inventory or you waste in one spot. You know, you see I'm still stuck with that. It's messing up my number counts. This will later affect your drop rates. Just don't take out the Ruthless and the Lullaby. That's probably one of the biggest tips, actually. Don't take those 2 out of that grant. Alright, they ain't worth using. You'll be okay without them. Alright, so now on to the next one. Okay, so my next tip is to be very careful when taking headshots at NPCs, because some of these NPCs just so happen to be Neo from the Matrix. I'm talking about they dodging headshots. And in this next clip, I'm gonna give you a little demo of what that looked like, how incredible it actually is. I'm gonna show you one clip without being zoomed in, and then I'll show you another clip that is zoomed in. It won't look as good zoomed in though. It kind of degrades the quality. I kind of debated which one to show, so instead I'm just gonna show them both. It's hilarious. I mean, literally, Neo from the Matrix. So here we go with that clip. Oh, no. Alright, so now it's time for the last and final tip, or I should say statement. But a lot of people have been asking me, what's my favorite specialist? And I gotta say, without a doubt, the Demolitionist is the man. Alright, now as far as PvE concerned, he is the very best. When it comes down to running time trials and finishing missions as fast as possible, when we get to farming and all that kind of stuff later, the Demolitionist will be key. And now what I did is I put together a few clips and a little bit of gameplay of the Demolitionist that's going to demonstrate in phenomenal fashion how extraordinary of a character he actually is. Now, one of the things that I do want to point out as far as the Demolitionist is concerned is hopefully after this video come out they don't nerf him. I hope he don't get nerfed because of this, but who knows, maybe the viewer count will say stanking and nobody will see it. But for the ones who have watched, you know, the ones who've been supporting the channel, I just want to give y'all a big thank you and a shout out to my boy Mershot, Riley, and Leonard for helping me out with the Division 2 copy so I can have all of the platforms again, you know, covering content on each one. We got some big videos coming up. I'm finna drop phase 1 of the next plan coming up shortly. And you know, if you want to follow more about the channel, get some more hot tips, some of the more creative, more informative tips, hit that subscribe, hit that like, and I will catch you boys on the next one.
System disrupted. System restored. System functioning.
What you think of my little grenade launcher approach? You see how quick and easy that is?
Fucking armor's wasted.
We'll have to check the logs to see if they access any sensitive data. But I think we're okay. Good work in there.
Piece of cake.